Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. I've got the latest information pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly, better known as R. Kelly. There are new allegations facing Mr. Kelly. As most of you know, he is in a holding facility in Brooklyn, New York, facing a multitude of charges. And I will bring you that said information. My first source will be CBS Chicago 2 News, uploaded content on the YT. I want to thank all of you for joining me. Hi, B. Hi, Dharma Dozen. How are you? Thank you all so much for joining me. And I also have a correction. In my last live, I was telling you all about the Foundation House, the owner. I called her Cindy Mindy. Well, her name is Mindy Lowe. I have a short note on my community post, so please check it out when you are done listening to this content. Uh, I want this person to know that I will not rest in finding out information pertaining to Chadwick Carr, 32 missing out of Clinton, Tennessee. Uh, the halfway house is at 1105 Dutch Valley Road. For those of you who like to inquire, this is a facility housing men. And this Mindy Lowe, Mindy, second word, Lowe, Lowe, owns this said facility. And I want her to know, and those who were working that night and those who were living in that halfway house, that I will not rest until I find out what happened to Chadwick Carr. So there is a correction in this said commentary. I said her name was Cindy Lowe. Her name is Mindy Lowe, owner of the Foundation House where Chadwick Carr was last seen on May 1st, 2021. It has been now 2.5 months, and there's been no sightings or word from Mr. Carr to friends, family, work, anyone. Thank you all so much for listening. 13 viewing. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, Crystal. Hi. Sorry, I don't know what goes on with YouTube and the alert system. I've been hearing it for months that people don't get the notification, so I have nothing to do with how they do the notifications. Only thing I can recommend is that you unsubscribe and then resubscribe, and perhaps you will get a notification. That's the best I can tell you. But I thank you all for listening. Thank you. I have one mod on deck. Amen. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. But yes, those who listened to the last live, yes, the queen was on a little fire there near the end. Yes, I got a little crunk. But Mindy Lowe is the name of the lady that owns the halfway house in Clinton, Tennessee. Not Cindy, but Mindy Lowe. So excuse the discrepancy. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. I've got 13 viewing. I'm going to go ahead and get the ball crunk. So I want to keep you guys up because I want to kind of chill tonight. Honey, rest these tootsies and these eyes because I am 50. You know, I need to get all my beauty rest if it's possible. But I thank you all for joining me. Robert Kelly, you are in trouble. Robert. I don't even know what to say at this point. It's like, who else is going to come out with a story pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly? His trial is alleged to start August 9th, which is next month. But they have kindly, the judge, moved it up. I believe it says the 18th or 19th, so his attorneys can get, their opening statements ready and have enough time. There was a problem with him when he first got to the facility. He had to be quarantined for 2 weeks. So naturally, this is a process they're doing with most jails and prisons. If you're new to a new facility, they won't let you go straight into a holding cell. You have to be quarantined. So he was quarantined, so his lawyers couldn't talk to him. But as of today, his lawyers have access to him every day of the week, 7 days a week. I will bring you that commentary with the source. Okay, here we go.
We're hearing of a John Doe, a young boy R. Kelly is accused of abusing, and a Cook County official bribed Our Jermont Terry read the court documents front to back live at our street side studio tonight. Jermont.
Brad, the feds are laying it all out in these 52 pages. The new accusations accuse bribery of a clerk here in Cook County and describe young boys as R. Kelly victims too. New federal documents from NYC for the first time accuse R. Kelly of molding young boys. In 2006, court papers show Kelly met a John Doe number 1, then asked the boy what he was willing to do to succeed in the music business, and clarified he wanted John Doe number 1 to engage in sexual contact with Kelly. The teen introduced Kelly to a male friend. The complaint goes on to say, years later, Kelly started a sexual relationship with John Doe number 2. At times, even paid John Doe number 2 after sexual encounters with him. The complaint says the boys met Kelly when they were both 17. Prosecutors say they have a witness who will testify Kelly made her download child pornography involving boys. The complaint says they found screen recordings of young males engaging in sex acts. One video is approximately 10 minutes long. Prosecutors say Kelly's cell phone had a video on the device, also indicates the file was created on the device in May 26, 2019.
It was just a quick little ceremony.
That was months after the surviving R. Kelly documentary was released. In the series, countless women spoke about what they described as physical and sexual abuse by Kelly. The federal papers say in 2019, Kelly's crisis manager told Kelly that he had 2 people who know a lot and told Kelly to figure out what you can do for them, suggesting the people were open to bribes. Those bribes include someone who works at the Cook County Courthouse. Prosecutors say the crisis manager told Kelly he paid a clerk in Cook County $2,500 in order to obtain information about Kelly's legal trouble. The feds say there's a recording of the entire conversation. Now, R. Kelly remains in federal custody in New York City. The R&B singer maintains his innocence, yet he is still facing 2 separate trials, one here in Chicago and the federal case in NYC. Kelly's attorney has until the end of this month to respond to these new accusations. Otherwise, his federal trial in New York gets underway in August. Reporting live in the Street Side studio tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS 2 News. Brad?
Jermont, our thanks tonight.
All right. That is the latest update pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly, better known as R. Kelly. Once a thriving R&B sensation here in the United States and abroad, but now he is just an inmate number. Amen. Thank you all for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Oh, excuse me. Let's get the content started. I'm going to bring you several sources because there's always a little this and that from each source. So I want to make sure I bring you different stories pertaining to different, content pertaining to Robert. Okay. Hold on one second. Make sure I get everything together. Okay. Thank you all for joining me. Just got 11 viewing. Where is everybody at? Yes. Very sad. Very sad. Very sad. But everything's a choice. And you know this. You want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Thank you all so very much for joining me. I'm going to bring you a little bit of this and a little bit of that pertaining to Robert Kelly. I'm going to go back a little while. I'm going to go back a couple of weeks to let you know what was going on with Robert Kelly up until current day. This is by All Hip Hop, if you need verification. R. Kelly calls lawyers from prison shower, begs for pretrial release. Kelly's lawyers are asking him to be released from prison over the barbaric conditions he is being kept in as he attempts to prepare for trial, and know that this was content uploaded July 1st. Okay. The singer is being held in the Special Housing Unit, SHU, of the notorious Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Manhattan. R. Kelly arrived at the facility on June 22nd, 2021. His lawyers claim the barbaric conditions of the facility, coupled with R. Kelly's literacy issues, are making it impossible for him to mount a defense. So they are asking for R. Kelly to be released. Earlier today, July 1st, R. Kelly's lawyers filed an emergency motion for temporary release. The singer needs to prepare its defense for trial, which is scheduled to begin on August 9th, 2021. Even though prosecutors have turned over some discovery material to R. Kelly, he cannot read them. Compounding the issue is his lawyer's inability to communicate with him as he languishes in the SHU. It is undisputed that he is illiterate, which makes in-person meetings essential so he can prepare for August 9th, 2021 jury trial, said R. Kelly's lawyer, Thomas A. Farinella. The lack of meaningful communications with Mr. Kelly while he is in prison and Mr. Kelly's inability to assist in his defense, the only assurance that Mr. Kelly will be prepared for his trial in August if he is granted immediate pretrial release, he added. Lack of privacy hampers R. Kelly's defense. R. Kelly's lawyers say the singer has little privacy inside the MDC's SHU. They argue the only time R. Kelly can call them is when he's in the shower. There is little preparation that can be done when Mr. Kelly calls counsel from a shower and has to talk through a slit in the door. These barbaric conditions fundamentally prevent Mr. Kelly from being able to assist his counsel in his own defense, Farinella claimed. Every time Mr. Kelly speaks, everything he says is heard throughout the SHU due to the acoustics and echo heard reverberating throughout the SHU prison walls, R. Kelly's lawyer, Thomas A. Farinella. R. Kelly's lawyers have proposed the following to the court. 1. Execute a bond co-signed by a financially responsible person. 2. Be placed under 24-hour home confinement to be enforced by location monitoring technology to be determined by pretrial services. Mr. Kelly would only leave the residence for necessary medical services. All other leave from the residence would be submitted through defense counsel for the court's approval. Number 3, Mr. Kelly would not be released from MDC until all conditions are met, including the availability of location monitoring equipment. Number 4, a review by this court not to exceed 15 days, at which time the need for continued release under compelling reason that release was ordered can be revisited by the court. Number 5, when home visits are scheduled by pretrial services, Mr. Kelly will comply with pretrial services requests to remove all cohabitants of the residence prior to the visit. Lord have mercy. R. Kelly's lawyers may be asking for what amounts to a Hail Mary. He has made 3 prior applications for bond as well as appeal for temporary release. All of his attempts were denied. A judge ruled the singer was simply too dangerous to be released because he was harassing witnesses. Prosecutors accused R. Kelly's associates of sending threatening letters allegedly at his direction, and his former managers attempted to dissuade potential witnesses from speaking. They offered up cash and, in some cases, violence. His former managers, Darrell McDavid and Milton Brown, were hit with federal racketeering charges for shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars to silence witnesses. They also worked to recover illicit sex tape videotapes featuring R. Kelly allegedly having sexual relations with teenagers. In an extreme incident, an associate of R. Kelly set his former girlfriend, Azriel Clary's car on fire. Wow, I didn't know that. Michael Williams pleaded guilty to 1 count of arson, and he was sentenced to just under 6 years in prison. Damn, shut your mouth. I've never heard that. Well, this must be after she left the tower, Trump Tower, because I'd never heard that, the girls that even had a car while they were living with R. Kelly, before and after he got locked up. So obviously this must be after R. Kelly was incarcerated and the girls possibly were still at Trump Towers or after they left. This is very interesting because I have not heard this information. If you need verification for what I just read to you, allhiphop.com is the source. Oh, that was some very interesting information. Naturally, this is older content from the first of the month. R. Kelly is still incarcerated. He's been denied bond. He's been deemed a danger to society. And even if he was to get bond, he still is facing charges in Illinois, Cook County, and the state of Minnesota. So it wouldn't matter if he had the money or not. If somebody had money or not. And I don't know what fool would offer up money now knowing everything. He still would be reprimanded to another jurisdiction. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Next information. Whew. WTTW News, Crime and Law. R. Kelly lawyers will fight bid to add claims to trial. R. Kelly's lawyers said Monday they would fight prosecutors' bid to tell jurors about allegations beyond the actual charges at his upcoming federal sex trafficking trial. This is nothing more than a veiled effort to pile on to further shape the public's perception in this case, ignoring that Mr. Kelly is presumed innocent until proven otherwise, Kelly lawyer Nicole Blank Becker said by email, adding that his attorneys would vigorously oppose the government's request. As the trial nears, we are looking forward to the truth prevailing, she wrote. Jury selection is due to start August 9th in a New York federal court for Grammy Award-winning R&B star. He's charged with leading what prosecutors call a criminal enterprise of managers, bodyguards, other employees. Prosecutors say the staffers helped Kelly to recruit women and girls for sex and pornography and to exercise a lot of control over them. The charges involve 6 different women and girls. Prosecutors now also want jurors to hear about more than a dozen other people who allege Kelly sexually or physically abused, threatened, or otherwise mistreated them. The claims include an allegation that he had sexual contact with an underage boy. Kelly denies ever abusing anyone. The multi-platinum selling singer, born Robert Sylvester Kelly, is known for work including 1996 hit I Believe I Can Fly and the cult classic Trapped in the Closet, a multi-part tale of sexual betrayal and intrigue. He also faces sex-related charges in Illinois and Minnesota and has pleaded not guilty. If you need verification for the story, WTTW.com is source number 2. Thank you all for joining me. God bless all of you. Okay. Oh, Tashana said it happened when she moved back with her parents. Okay, sweetheart. Thanks for the info. So that means he still was at work while locked up, hiring people to do misdeeds. He's a very dangerous person. He's sick and dangerous. Third source, WGCI. For those of you who are from the Chi, you know about WGCI music station. Amen. 107.5. For those of you that like a little bit of urban R&B music, please check out 107.5 WGCI. This is Chicago. Another R. Kelly update. It was reported that R. Kelly was allegedly having relations with 2 underage boys. The news broke over the weekend, and it was reported that one man, John Doe, will testify in court. See the post below for more information. This is on I believe, somebody's IG account called The Neighborhood. R. Kelly's alleged efforts to obtain child pornography involving boys, prosecutors claim. This is in an IG account, The Neighborhood Talk, if you need verification for the information. Neighbors. Yesterday, news broke that prosecutors want to introduce new evidence in R. Kelly's sexual misconduct case. One of the biggest bombshells revealed in the documents is that he allegedly had sexual relations with 2 men and also was in possession of child pornography. This article will focus on Kelly's attempt to get it per the legal documents. Jane Doe, number 5, is expected to testify that during the course of her relationship with Kelly, Kelly directed her to obtain child pornography involving boys for him. In Kelly's direction, Jane Doe, number 5, searched the internet for pornography involving younger-looking males and screen-recorded such pornography for Kelly's use. Jane Doe, number 5, believed the pornography that she found on the internet and downloaded for Kelly actually involved individuals who were over the age of 18 or older, given the website she was given. The following videos were recovered from these websites, and it says X videos, amateur, beep, beep, beep. View court documents in Slider for the rest of the sites. It's important to note that the government said they haven't been able to verify the ages of the men in any of the videos. And this is an, I believe, IG account of The Neighborhood Talk if you need verification. Oh, Lord have mercy. My head's spinning. Damn, what is the problem? Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Okay, that's by 107.5 WGCI. That update pertaining to Robert. This is from The Neighborhood if you want to check out their content. I'm trying to make sure I've got everything loaded up here pertaining to Robert. Oh, Lord Jesus, it just goes on and on. I will bring you another source of information. Thank you all for joining me. It had been alleged that he liked men, boys. Jerronda Pace told that in the first installment of Surviving R. Kelly. Jerronda Pace gave her testimony of how she became to know Robert Kelly. She met him during the trial that took place starting in 2008. And one conversation led to another. And that's how she met up with him. She would stand outside, rallying for him as a spectator. One thing led to another. She ended up having relations with Robert Kelly. And she is also the one that gave testimony that she watched a grown man perform oral copulation on Robert Kelly in the same room. And I do believe he did that to bait her to see what her reaction would be, to see if she would be down with watching and or participating in group sex. That's Robert Kelly. That's his MO. He's a baiter. He baits people. That's what he does. Thank you all for joining me. Trying to get my next content loaded. Thank you all. Okay. This is older content from the 8th of the month. This is by Billboard if you need a source. R. Kelly denied bail but granted slight trial delay. Jury selection will go forward August 9th as originally planned, but opening statements are delayed until August 18th. Lawyers for R. Kelly were granted a little more time Thursday, July 8th, to prepare his defense for his upcoming sex trafficking trial in New York City. At a hearing in federal court in Brooklyn, U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly, now it's jumping off, hold on, said jury selection will go forward August 9th as originally planned, but agreed to delay the opening statements until August 18th, rather than start the openings right after the panel was picked. The jail Kelly switched legal teams less than a month ago. His new attorneys had asked the judge Monday to postpone the New York trial for a longer period, saying they couldn't adequately prepare. The lawyer said they had been unable to meet with him in person while he was quarantined for 14 days in a Brooklyn federal jail after being brought there from a Chicago lockup on June 22nd. Federal jails have been quarantining transferred and newly incarcerated inmates since early in the COVID-19 pandemic. The legal team also asked Thursday that Kelly be released on bail so he could better assist in his defense, a request that the judge quickly denied. She assured them that they could now see Kelly in person at the jail 7 days a week if they wanted. You're going to have full access to Mr. Kelly, she said. Kelly, 54, was making his first in-person appearance in New York court since his transfer. He didn't speak except to exchange greetings with the judge. The Grammy-winning multi-platinum selling R&B singer is charged with leading enterprise of managers, bodyguards, other employees who help him recruit women and girls for sex. Federal prosecutors say the group selected victims at concerts and other venues and arranged for them to travel to see Kelly. The case is only part of the legal peril facing the singer, born Robert Sylvester Kelly. He also has pleaded not guilty to sex-related charges in Illinois and Minnesota. Kelly won multiple Grammys for I Believe I Can Fly. 1996 song became an inspirational anthem, played at school graduations, weddings, advertisements, and elsewhere. Nearly a decade later, he began releasing what eventually became 22 musical chapters of Trapped in the Closet, a drama that spins a tale of sexual deceit and became a cult classic. But Kelly has been trailed for decades by complaints and allegations about his sexual behavior, including a 2002 child pornography case in Chicago. He was acquitted in that case in 2008. Scrutiny intensified again amid the hashtag #MeToo movement in recent years, with multiple women going public with accusations against the singer. The pressure intensified with the release of the Lifetime documentary Surviving R. Kelly in 2019. Criminal charges soon followed. This is just that information by Billboard.com if you need verification. I will now read you the original charges against the original allegations that have come forward pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly. Whew, Lord have mercy. Read all that. Jesus. I uploaded content earlier pertaining to Robert Kelly. And this is the original article I read earlier for those of you who did not catch the live that I brought forth. So you will now have full, adequate information pertaining to what Robert Kelly is facing at the current moment. Thank you all so much. Chicago Sun-Times is the source. Feds say R. Kelly crisis manager bribed Cook County official after surviving R. Kelly. The new allegations surfaced in a lengthy court filing in which prosecutors asked the judge permission to admit allegations of uncharged crimes during Kelly's racketeering trial in Brooklyn, set to begin next month. Federal prosecutors in New York say a crisis manager for R&B star R. Kelly bribed a clerk in Cook County to get information about the singer's legal trouble following the release of the Lifetime documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. The new allegations surfaced in a lengthy court filing in which prosecutors asked a judge permission to admit allegations of uncharged crimes, including sexual abuse of minors, unlawful imprisonment, hush money payments, and physical abuse during Kelly's racketeering trial in Brooklyn, set to begin next month. The document also alleges Kelly had a member of his entourage pay an Illinois state employee $500 to create a fake ID in 1994 for Kelly's then protege, the singer Aaliyah Houghton, who was 15 at the time. The feds say they want to introduce evidence of Kelly's sexual abuse of Aaliyah to show he married her on August 31st, 1994, after obtaining the fake ID, so she could not be forced to testify against him. Aaliyah died in a plane crash in 2001. Another claim we made in the document involves Kelly's alleged sexual abuse of a boy he met at McDonald's in 2006 when the boy was 17. It said Kelly invited the boy to his studio purportedly to help the boy with his musical aspirations. Kelly allegedly asked the boy what he would do to succeed in the music business and then had sexual contact with the boy. The feds say the boy then introduced Kelly to a close male friend who was 16 or 17. They said Kelly started a sexual relationship with that person several years later. Meanwhile, the bribery of the Cook County clerk allegedly occurred around February 2019. That's when someone claimed to be a crisis manager for Kelly told him he had two people who know a lot and told Kelly to figure out what you can do for them. Kelly allegedly replied, "What you do, man, is write something on a piece of paper and give me what I should tip the bailiff, what I should tip the valet. Like when my uncle come up here and say, Rob, the valet guy who parked the car over there, I say, so what should I give him? He say, well, $20, $30. I gave him $30. So what I'm saying is, I don't know that number." Later during that same conversation, the crisis manager allegedly told Kelly he had paid a Cook County clerk $2,500 and obtained a burner phone for the clerk to help get information about Kelly's legal trouble. Cook County prosecutors charged Kelly with aggravated criminal sexual abuse in February 2019. That's done, the crisis manager allegedly said of the payment to the clerk. You don't know nothing. Kelly allegedly replied, exactly. The feds say they recovered a recording of the conversation by searching Kelly's phone. Prosecutors in the latest filings also argued that Kelly should be barred from introducing evidence or making arguments as to the sexual behavior of his victims with individuals other than the defendant or with others at Kelly's direction. Such evidence is allowed only in a few narrow instances, they argue, under federal trial rules that impose clear limits on a defendant's ability to introduce evidence that a victim engaged in other sexual behavior or has a propensity to engage in sexual acts. Lord, what the hell does that mean? Excuse me. Kelly's indictment in Brooklyn alleges he led an enterprise made up of his managers, bodyguards, drivers, other employees who helped him recruit women and girls for illegal sex. A federal indictment filed against him in Chicago also alleges child pornography and obstruction of justice. If you need verification for the information that the Queen has brought you, chicago.suntimes.com, the infamous Chicago Sun-Times, my favorite newspaper. Amen. Woo! I'm dead. I had to come up for air. R. Kelly is facing bribery charges. His crisis manager 2 years ago, you know that guy, the real buff chocolate guy, was walking around with the braids to the back and the shaved sides. He has bribed a clerk official for information on R. Kelly's troubles. And also, a bribe was paid to a court clerk back in 94 for a fake ID for Aaliyah. And now, also, he's facing an allegation of sleeping with an underage boy and his friend. R. Kelly, you are done. Bruh. Oh, my goodness. Where do we start? Thank you for joining the Queen. It's Everyday Shenanigans. R. Kelly. Lord have mercy. You done, brother. Your sexual appetite for females, girls underage, boys underage, filming sexual escapades with these said people, filming children is a crime, having sex with them is a crime, soliciting them is a crime, using one of the girls to get the porn. Damn, it just don't stop with this man. I mean, on and on. It's like, what else can you all come up with pertaining to this Negro? Lord have mercy. And the sick part of this, besides just the act of desiring girls, desiring boys, using people to get these people, flying them in, driving them here, different sex acts, asking for group sex, participating in group sex, filming them, filming yourself, this Negro can't even read or write. Oh, man, I'm dead. Lord, I'm done. How in the world can you sing songs, but you can't write if you can't read, right? Help me understand. You believe you can fly. Well, how did you write that song? How could you write the song if you can't read? You got to be able to read to write. Oh, Lord. I've never seen a person so sick that they got to have sex with everybody. He doesn't even discriminate. That's the crazy part. Because when you look at all the women that's made allegations against Robert Kelly, some are tall, some are short, brown skin, dark skin. Hell, there's even a Caucasian girl looped in there from South Carolina. I thought, damn, you just all over the place. Then we got the allegations now of boys. But that was rumored anyway by Jerhonda Pace that he liked the company of men. She is the first one to tell the story of walking into a room. He had her sit down, and then the guy Bubba walks in and kneels between Mr. Kelly's legs and handles his business. I said to myself, can you imagine a young girl sitting there not knowing what's about to transpire, and here comes a guy walking in performing oral sex on R. Kelly in front of her? But he did that to bait her, grooming as they call it. He wanted to get a reaction out of her. And naturally he got it. And he wanted to see if she would be a ride or die fan. And naturally, she still hung in there. Whether it disgusted her or not, it wasn't enough, obviously, for her to leave him alone. And that's all he was looking for, is to see if she would stick around. R. Kelly is a mean MF. His brother gave testimony that he made a pass at him. And he says it in the documentary. That's Robert. He wants to see how far you will go. And I believe that. Some person told me they didn't believe his brother. But like I said, you don't have to believe it. You don't want to believe it because you like Robert. You like what you think you know of Robert, which is he's a great singer. Hello, everybody in the chat. But that's not enough to go to bat for somebody because they sound good, they look good, they're pretty, they're handsome, they're talented, they can sing, they can play the flute, the violin, they can throw the football 100 yards. What the hell does that have to do with the allegations? What does it have to do with the charges? Nothing. Because you don't know him. He's another Weinstein, Epstein, Bill Cosby. They're all the same to me. A bunch of wealthy men who threw their weight around, threw their money around, threw their name around to bait women into sex, sexual escapades, menage a trois, group sex, pornography, filming, everything you could think of. And they won't be the first nor the last. Because right now, as I speak, there is somebody out there doing this to women, and he may be famous and he may not be. Some men just got the gift of gab. You understand what I'm saying? They know how to talk. They know how to lure you in, loop you in. And it always starts with, have you ever been with a girl? You ever been with a woman? You want to try it? I like it. Nobody has to know. And before you know it, a woman who don't even like women is now participating in group sex with some damn guy who really don't give a damn about her. Because I don't think a decent man would ask a woman to participate in a menage a trois or group sex orgies, whatever you want to call it. It is grooming at best. This is the sad information pertaining to Robert Kelly. He's facing a multitude of charges out of the state of New York, Illinois, and Minnesota. He's currently in a facility in Brooklyn, New York. His trial is to start August 9th. Opening statements believed to be August 18th. It's a very sad day because here's a man who has a lot of talent singing. I also believe he can play the piano, organ, whichever, keyboard, but it's all a waste because his mind ain't right. And if your mind ain't right, the rest ain't hitting on nothing. And then, of course, you know, he has been accused of passing venereal diseases. So what I have to tell myself is most men don't get checked who pass diseases, and that's why they're passed, because most men go asymptom. It's usually the woman who ends up with the symptom of a venereal disease. So you count all the years of this man sleeping around, 9 times out of 10, he never went and got checked unless it was severely bad to where he had no choice, like severely burning down there. He may have go ahead and went on to the emergency room. But this is the same man who didn't even choose to try to learn how to read and write. So that's why I tell myself, he would be the same guy that would let his penis fall off because he didn't even care about learning how to read and write. You think he cares about going to the hospital to get his wee checked? Possibly not. And yes, we know about the child molestations. But in the end, at some point, Robert knew what he was doing was wrong. Hanging outside the high school at Kenwood Academy and other said schools looking for young girls. He knew at that point it was wrong because he was adult then. So being an adult, oogling little girls is wrong. And he knew that. And he didn't get any help. And now he's a 54-year-old man in a holding cell, facing multitude of charges. And the fact that the judge won't let him out should tell you something. They're not playing with Robert Kelly. And like I said, if he was to bond out today, he still will be right back in custody with 2 hoes on him from 2 other states, so it wouldn't matter. Sad. It's a very sad situation. But as I state, he's a grown man and he knows better. And these are the choices that he made. And some of the stories the women told were baffling. And I refuse to sit here and think that everybody was lying, because I'm not going to sit here and think that house in Johns Creek, Georgia was a mansion. And the women were all in different rooms without access to food, water, and a bathroom. Locked in a room. And what you have to tell yourself, if you got people working for him that are setting people cars on fire, threatening people, bribing people, why wouldn't I think they would put somebody in a room and lock the damn door and not let them out to pee and eat? And his wife said that. Drea, she had to knock before entering a room. So think about that. A married woman living in a house with her own husband, and she's got to knock on a door before entering. What does that tell you? It tells you a lot. That even in her own household, she wasn't running anything. She had no say in her own house. So imagine you are letting somebody dominate you that can't even read and write. How in the hell does it get to that point? Because it's wrong to let a person dominate you anyway. How you look, how you dress, when you walk, talk, enter in a room, knock on the door, all that type of foolishness. But this Negro can't read and write. And that's what's been said in this commentary that I brought you. They're giving the man documents. He don't even understand what they say. And we already know that legal jargon is hard to decipher because of the wording. So now imagine you don't know how to read and write. It's like you're looking at nothing on a piece of paper. Sick. Very sick. Yes, he does. Do his time and be done with it. And then the thing of the complaining, first of the month, about his situation at the jail, talking on the phone in the shower, this and that. Well, you know, this is how I look at it. You're not the only person in jail crying and moaning, wanting to get out. But what you have to remember is you put yourself there. It's like the guy next to you that robbed somebody, beat somebody up, cut somebody, murdered somebody. Well, he put himself there. And so did you, Robert Kelly. You may not have beaten nobody up. You may not have murdered a man or woman. But you've done some things that have come back on you. And that's what I believe mainly. All these crimes, it's just karma coming back. And somebody finally said, let's try to make it stick. That's it. And those people who took the bribes at the court office in Illinois, Chicago, you're wrong. You would take money to make a fake ID back in 94, you're wrong. The person that gave the crisis manager the documents in 19, you're wrong. And they're going to prosecute both of you dusty people. So you're walking around somewhere thinking you Gucci, but you ain't going to be Gucci because they're going to get your name and put it on the slab alongside Robert Sylvester Kelly. And now your name is going to be grouped beside the heinous child molester, bisexual, sadist. How you like them apples? And now everybody in Chicago and around the world is going to know you were thirsty for some money and took a bribe to get a young 15-year-old girl a fake ID so she could marry a grown-ass man. And fast forward 2019, this person took a bribe and handed over legal documents that you had no right to hand over. And you violated your oath to do your job professionally and with dignity. But we already know for the right dollar amount, anything can be sold. There's no such thing as privacy. And R. Kelly has the nerve to bitch and moan about having privacy inside of the jail. Well, my brother, you put yourself there, so that's on you. And naturally, the law says there should be no cruel and unusual punishment. But you see, once you go to jail, you can't expect the best type of situation. That's just the way it goes. You're in jail. And nobody said it was going to be a piece of cakewalk when you got there. Nobody said you were entitled to a bed. You may have to sleep on a cot on the floor or a blanket on the floor. You may not even get a whole cell. And now, because they run out of space, they just put a whole bunch of bunk beds in an open room. And so there's no privacy to sleep. Just a bunch of men in bunk beds lined up in rows in an open space. And I've seen it where it's so bad out west in like Arizona, they had tents outside on the property, fenced in. But that's the road you chose. Correct. Jail isn't meant to be comfortable. Exactly. That's the sad information pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly. I don't know what to say, but he chose this. He chose this, and all these girls he went after, all these women he went after, all these people he abused and engaged in, sexual deviant behavior and coerced some to do things. Because you got to remember, a lot of these girls were underage at the time. You got to pay for that. And a lot of people think because it's a long time ago. Well, the law doesn't think like that. A crime is a crime no matter when it happened. You see, rape is the only crime that had a stipulation on it. But just like now, if you go out here and kill somebody, they're going to keep looking for you. It doesn't matter if they don't find you. It doesn't matter if they don't have evidence. It's the law. The case stays open. The case stays open. So it should be the same for rape, child molestation. It should stay open. Because this is the reason why most offenders don't get charged, because of the statute of limitations for rape, sodomy. And the laws need to change. Because nobody has the right to force anybody to engage in any sexual behavior that he or she has not consented to do so. And any type of touching, groping, sex with a child is rape. Because the child can't consent. It doesn't matter if their mouth says yes and nasty talk, their body says yes, they are still a child. And no adult has any reason to be looking at a child, ogling a child, talking to a child, groping a child, luring a child, or forcing themselves on a child. That's just the bottom line. And those who think it's okay for him to walk free because it happened a long time ago, that says a lot about your character as a person, that you're willing to aid a person because they're famous and you like their music or their talent versus the crime. You take away the crime, they are an ordinary person who committed a crime. That's just the bottom line. That's just the bottom line. Hello, Nancy. Hello, everybody in the chat. It's just the bottom line. He's nasty. Robert is nasty. And from what I've heard about him sexually, I don't think anybody would want to let him penetrate them because they hear it's bad. The smell is bad. It's bad. And that's from naturally going day to day, month to month, not getting your private parts checked, not getting the medicine you need to cure your diseases. It's common sense. You're going to smell. Excuse my language. You're walking around with an infection in your body. Hello, Miss Moore. How are you, dear? I want to thank you all for joining me. Check these messages 1 second. Lord have mercy. Y'all wait good till I go live. Hold on 1 second, guys. Thank you all for joining me. Well, that's true. All money isn't good money. Got 40 viewing. Thank you. Can you give a commentary, ma'am? Yeah. Can you give a commentary?
I can.
Okay.
Am I echoing or am I good?
You're all right.
Okay. I am, oh my goodness, I'm just like, wow, he just completely ruined his whole career behind this stuff. I don't know what's going on with him.
Okay. This is Crystal Moore for those in the chat that don't know who this is. This is Mod. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, so I'm just, what in the world is going on?
Okay, well, what do you think about the allegations? Let's just start because there's several allegations. What do you think about the allegations? The boy won, then he went and got a friend, and then R. Kelly didn't start sleeping with that friend 2 years later. So that means that friend would have been legally grown. But he filmed them, so that's a crime in itself. The two boys probably having sex with girls. So that leads me to think that the boys are also bisexual. See where I'm going?
Yes.
So yeah. I'm starting to wonder if one of those boys is Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you think? Do you think the first boy A, was gay, bisexual, or what? Or he just went along with the flow because he wanted to be famous?
Well,
because we don't know. So I'm just asking, just hypothesis.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's possible. I mean, a lot of them were young, so you know that they're more or less like being able to, not really boast, but get that reputation. Oh, I was with R. Kelly type of thing,
Okay, but not a boy. But not a boy.
They see the money and the fame and all that, and to say that you was with R. Kelly.
Wait.
I mean, I don't know.
Wait. You talking about a female, right? I know you're not talking about no boy.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, but guess what? But think about what you're saying. If the people don't know that R. Kelly was gay at that time, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How are you gonna come out and say I just F R. Kelly?
Mm-hmm. Boy, I don't know. I'm a loss for words. I can't explain it.
Well, what's sad is they got a witness, the girl who downloaded the pornography. That's who's going to be testifying to him downloading. But like they said, they got to be able to prove that the boys or men in the videos are underage. That's gonna be the problem. See, that's how he got off with the girl back in '02. They couldn't prove that she was a minor, but I can tell you, I've seen the video, and you can tell that was a girl.
Yeah,
that was not a full-grown woman. And that one girl that he was having sexual relations with, you could see her body and tell that was a minor. Yes, the trial will be interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting. And how many states is it that he's? Was it 3 different states?
Yeah, Minnesota, Illinois, and New York.
Or traveling, huh?
Yeah. Yes, Lord.
Too many demons. Too many demons. That's
and I didn't even know about him setting the girl Azrael's car on fire. You done hired somebody to do that? You diabolical, dude.
Yeah, very. Yep. Now, which girl was that, though?
That's the dark skin one that had the curly hair, the one with the mouth on her.
Oh, okay.
Jocelyn was the lighter skin one.
Yeah, and then he paid he bribed the court,
the crisis manager, court clerk, to get information on his trials and stuff. What documents they had on it.
Oh, okay.
So this guy, who's going to trust you to work for them because you now have broken the law by bribing a court clerk?
Yeah. Yep. Oh my goodness. That's just, his whole career is just gone.
Yeah, it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter about people still watching the YouTube videos and the other websites where you can pay for the music, and who's in charge of it. You got to remember, you can't read and write. Stay woke.
Yeah.
So you don't even know the dollar amount of what you getting on your music. You can't read the fine print. You got to trust that somebody's going to read to you and tell you the truth about what's on the document. So he can be hoodwinked by the lawyers, music companies, anybody, because they know he can't read. So you got to trust that somebody will tell you the truth about what the hell you signing.
Yeah. Yep. And you had made a good point, too. Like, how did he write his music if he didn't know how to read or write? Who actually wrote those songs and stuff?
I don't know.
Ain't that something?
I love it.
That's gonna be next.
Yeah, because that's the thing. You can't have one without the other. You can't read. Right. You can't write what you can't read, because they go hand in hand. In order to write, you have to be able to comprehend the letters.
Right.
So how are you able to write the music if you can't read?
Right. And then with the royalties, is there anything about the royalties from his music? You know, is it going toward the
somebody's
victims,
over it? He's probably got somebody over it. Somebody's probably over it. But that's the whole point. Who's over it, and are they going to do right by being over it?
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
So now we know it can't be Azrael, because now we got allegations that he set her car. One of the people in the chat said she's one of the women whose car he set on fire. So that don't leave nobody but Jocelyn. So I don't think she's still in cahoots with them. I don't know for sure. So I can't say.
Oh my goodness. This is.
And I feel guilty even if I hear his music and I start to bob my head and I'm like, oh my God, why? Why do you have to be this person? Because I feel guilty. I'm serious. I feel guilty if I even think about one of his songs. Because a couple weeks ago, I was thinking about some of his music, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, this is crazy.
He ruined it.
Yeah, he did. Hold on. Let me see.
All behind the sex. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of sex.
State to state, traveling with it. That's just unreal.
Just sick. Sean, thank you for the donation. Amen. Thank you, honey. Hold on. Somebody, Joelle was sending me something. Let me see what you're talking about. I don't see it.
bribed a lot of them, I believe. You know, that, like I said, they're young. They see this money and fame, and
yeah.
oh, I get to be with him, and you know,
well, he knows that. That's why he did what he did, and he used those people too. See, they're stupid because you can now be tried for solicitation of a minor.
Mm-hmm.
When you pass the phone number, that's solicitation.
Mm-hmm.
You're an adult soliciting a child.
Right.
You go pick her up. Solicitation.
Mm-hmm.
You bought a ticket for her. Now you're showing, as they say, a pattern. It's an entourage now. People doing all this for a grown-ass man. Why? What are you gaining? You know, naturally they're going to say, oh, it's for the money, it's for the money. But okay, let's fast forward now, 2021. What do you all have now for all that underhanded shit you were doing for R. Kelly? Lacey said, I don't understand why he couldn't get just freaky with one woman as his age appropriate. Oh, yeah. Well, he didn't want nobody his age.
Mm.
R. Kelly wanted something underage. And then what's sick, then he wanted a boy and a girl. Shut up, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you nasty, man.
Very, very nasty.
But I also have to remember he was molested too, so that would have formed his personality and his desires for the same sex and young girls. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because one, his brother said he stayed in the house for years, didn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
So that showed you he didn't have any communication skills. So when you don't have any communication skills, you don't know how to go out and talk and mingle with people properly. So he probably was acting out, doing probably sexual things because he didn't learn how to communicate with people young like normal kids.
Mm-hmm.
So the deviance was starting young because he was cooped up in the house. Now you factor in he's been touched by the man neighbor. He's being molested by his sister. He was doomed.
Mm-hmm.
He was doomed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's acting out, probably preteen, drops out of school, out doing God knows what with this one and that one and that one. Now he's grown and he's ogling young girls because he hasn't had a childhood. He still has the mind of a child. So he's desiring a child.
Mm-hmm.
It's very sad.
It really is.
It's like, if he had got some help, maybe he would be in a better place today.
Mm-hmm. And does he have kids? Does anybody know if he got
kids with Drea.
Oh, okay.
They don't speak. They got a boy and a girl, I think. They don't speak to him.
That's amazing.
And that's terrible. You're somebody's father.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, how can you be somebody's father ogling a child? So then people will start to wonder that. Did he ever touch his own children?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I pray that he has.
Yeah.
You know, they were with him for a few years. Yeah.
Very possible.
Right, because my thing is, he's a sadist, and we don't know at what point he could have desired the children, even as small children, because, you know, you're assuming, well, he liked them at 13, 14, 15, but that doesn't mean anything. He's sick. His mind is sick. His mind is warped. Who's to say he wouldn't be attracted to an infant or a toddler? I don't put nothing past a person that likes young girls. You know, some people try to differentiate and say, well, I don't think he'd have went past this age. It don't damn matter. They're all minors.
Right.
That's the way it goes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what his deviant mind would tell him when he became desperate and had the urge to want to touch. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's sick.
Yep.
Well, he's in the right place for all the man loving he can get.
Oh yeah, Bubba finna have a good time with him.
They got some pretty boys in there. They got some hard looking boys in there. They got every flavor you can think of in there. And since he likes men, he won't have no problem finding somebody to engage in. That's just the way it goes.
Right.
I won't be surprised if he's already had sex since he's been locked up.
Oh yeah, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna ask everybody in the chat. Do you think Robert Kelly has had sexual relations since he's been locked up? Say yes or no. Okay. You said yes. Okay.
Yes.
Put a yes or no in the chat if you think Robert Kelly has had sexual relations since he's been incarcerated. Oh, Night Owl says no. I got one no. Okay, V says yes. Okay, I'm gonna count the yeses. You count the no's. Okay, I got 1, 2 yeses. There's 1 no. I got 3 yeses rather. Sorry. And with yours is 4. So 4 yeses, 1 no. Night Owl's 4-1. Okay, Nancy said maybe not by choice. What you mean, not by choice? So what you trying to say? He was sexually assaulted, girl? If you don't go with it. Okay, Lacey said he ain't going without the S word. That's for sure. The what word? What, Lacey? What you talking about? Well, I basically got 5 yeses. Nancy is talking about not by choice. Maybe not by choice. Well, either way, it's messed up. It's messed up.
I think he has. I mean,
his appetite is too great. Yeah, he has an addiction. Yeah, he's got who is with. That's the thing. He's not even picky.
Right.
Okay, Nancy said a big yes. Okay, so that's 6 yeses against 1 no. I'm surprised Night Owl says no. It's very interesting.
And how long has it been locked up now?
2 years, about 2 years. February 2019.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can't tell me he went cold turkey.
Girl, you a mess. That's what he was saying, and now what he telling some man, whose is this? It's yours, Robert. I can't understand. Oh, Lord. And the thought makes me want to vomit. I think he has some type of addiction to it. Yeah, he has a sex addiction. That's the point. He's not going to be able to go long without some form of sex. And that's the point. It's not even just the women. He don't care who it's with.
Right.
He's not even picky. He's not even picky.
Right.
When he was free, he had sex with a man and a woman. So you know damn well he incarcerated. He is definitely going to get some ding ding while he in there, excuse my expression. And then you got to count, hey, the deviant sex usually weighs higher. Weighs higher. I won't be surprised in a couple of years, R. Kelly will be a full-fledged homosexual if he ain't already. After he stay in there a while, get used to looking at them hard knees and elbows, he won't even think about a woman. He'll be walking around with a t-shirt twisted up in a knot on the side. I'm dead. Wait a minute. I got to tell you this story, right? There's a documentary, and I think it was on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. It was YouTube or PBS. There was a guy who was in a prison, and he was real hard, and he was using the guys to run errands for him and be the little gopher, you know, the little bitch, whatever you call him. So he got released from prison. They went and found him to see how he was doing. Girl, When that camera rolled up on that dude, now mind you, when he was locked up, he was buff, had muscles, big chest, all of that. That thing had shrunk down to a 2 and had on lipstick and a skirt and hair gel in his hair slicked back. I said, Satan, what in the hell is this around here? Girl, he was walking around twisting in a mini skirt. Did you hear what I said? Now imagine he locked up, he walking around buff, but when he got to the street, he turned into a full-fledged homosexual.
Wow.
And was dressing, not just gay. He was wearing women's clothes and makeup. Lord have mercy. Yeah, he was turned out. So here he was, running the little men around, using the little young guys, white and black, using them for sex, to do stuff for him in the prison and be his maid and, you know, iron his clothes, all that now. He was a bully in the prison. He left out of there and became a full-fledged woman in drag. I died. I couldn't believe it. I told myself, I said, now you talk about a change, a 360. This is a 360 right here.
Wow.
That's definitely something he learned in prison. Well, my thing is, well, we have to ask ourselves about prison life as well, because I'm very intrigued about prison life and homosexuality. Are the men gay before they go in, or do they adapt to their circumstances and become curious, or just roll with the flow? You understand what I'm saying? Because are there some men that were in prison who honestly were attracted to women, but they adapted because maybe they were in there too long and went on with the flow? I'd like to know the stats. Hello, Jackie. How you doing, honey? So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of them, I think that they do. They go in there straight, but then, you know, depending on their sentence, how long their stay is, then they end up adapting.
Yeah.
You know, getting that relationship going with the person.
Yeah.
And then one thing leads to another.
Right. But you know, the scary part of that is when they're released.
Yeah. Yep. You don't know. You don't know what happened to them in prison, and
right.
They come out manly, but knowing that they were a man in prison.
Right.
I mean,
and who's going to tell it? He's not going to tell it unless somebody in the prison comes back and tell it.
Yep, exactly.
And we've heard those stories. You know, Pookie was in there getting it with the men. I've heard it a lot. With guys that were locked up, people came back to the street saying they were in there having sexual relations with a man. I don't know if it was true or not, or just a rumor. But, you know, that's a hell of a thing to put out about a man.
Yeah. Yep. A lot of those cases, I believe that it does happen like that.
V says, I think they were a bit sweet. So you saying men who mess with men in prison, they already had a penchant for being with men beforehand, V? Okay, and Night Out says a bit of both. Go ahead, Crystal.
Yeah, I think it depends on their sentence.
Okay.
You know, how long they're gonna be in prison.
Okay.
I don't think it too much is gonna bother somebody there for a year or 2 years. I don't know. I don't see it happening that often with men with light sentence.
Okay.
And with men with a harder sentence.
Right. That's not coming out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Well, let's throw this out here. What's the number of years that a man should just go ahead and sleep with a man?
Never.
Well, I just threw it out there because you said in the longer years, that's when they probably would decide to be with a man. So I'm gonna say what year, what number of the year when a man should just say, "Oh, the hell with it, I'm gonna go on and get me some with a guy."
When you got life, when you ain't never getting out. That's the only time.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I'm dead. She said when you get life. Okay, I hear you. Okay.
Yeah, when you get locked.
Okay, Late says, Late says, I also believe men that keeps going back to prison after being in so long might be fond of that stuff. Yeah, I would think so, possibly. Because you got to get something out of wanting to go, keep getting locked up. That's your freedom regardless. So why you want to keep going there? That's first and foremost. You don't got no freedom. You can't do nothing. You can't roam. You can't mate. You can't date. You can't do nothing. You in there with a bunch of men. So you have to think about that. That is something to think about. There's nothing but men in there. Same thing for women. There's nothing but women in there. What are you gaining by keep going to prison? You know,
Yeah.
very interesting. Very interesting. What Nancy gonna put the sign? She's so sick. What the stop sign? Is that a stop sign or just say no? Oh Jesus. Okay. Oh, this was interesting. Yeah, it's gonna. I can't wait. And you know what, Crystal? I hope Court TV picks it up.
Oh yeah.
Look, that's coming next month. So whatever else going on with these cases, I think right now I'm gonna stop talking about a lot of stuff. I don't think I'm gonna bring anything new because that's gonna start here in another another week and a half, 2 weeks. Jury selection. So I definitely hope Court TV picks it up because I want to be on it every day.
Yeah.
R. Kelly. Yes. Yeah. I don't want to miss a beat. So I think I'm going to start slacking off on the content that I talk about or not bring anything really new that I got to keep up because I've already got enough right now that I'm talking about with the same old shenanigans going on and on every day, something new with these crazy cases. I definitely don't want to miss anything with R. Kelly. Yeah. Okay, Kimberly Earls. Now, really? Jesus mercy. Man, y'all just... I'm dead. I'm so dead. How are you doing? You all right?
Yeah, just a little tired today.
Okay.
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 I'm good.
Okay, well, I just want to get your opinion. Unpacked, Say what, baby?
I said finally got unpacked.
Oh, you got unpacked. Okay, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm not gonna hold you guys, but that's the content right now pertaining to Robert Kelly. He's in a very dire situation right now. I mean, okay, look at Kim gonna say, Kim, what does that mean? Look, don't even think about what it means. Because I'm leaving it alone. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just I almost said something from a certain song that came out many years ago. I think you know what I'm talking about. Such and such Brown. Remember that song?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave that alone. Y'all shameful. Yeah, V Lord. You mean Lord. Put a T on the end. But you know what? I would like to meet somebody that has been incarcerated for a lengthy amount of time and is that way. Let's say perhaps they went in straight and or bisexual, but they came out and decided to just live a full life as, you understand what I'm saying? A gay man or whatever. Because it's interesting to hear the stories because there are lots of stories out there of men who have come out and they are now living as fully gay men or bisexual men. And Robert obviously has a propensity, to be with men. So I don't see him denying himself the luxury of being with the man in there. I see him indulging.
Yeah.
Because eventually you have got to satisfy your urges some type of way.
Exactly. And he sure did not go cold turkey. There's no way.
Right. Oh, she said, I know because of my brother. Oh, well, interesting. Wow. Okay. Wow. Now here comes somebody else testifying. Yep, I have a brother like that. Dang, what is this? The amen. Okay, this church, these doors is closed. Y'all. Damn. Y'all done went all in the pantry. Wait a minute, look. They done went all back in the pantry. Opening it up the doors. Pulling out old sugar bowls. Oh, Lord have mercy, I'm dead. Oh, I know, V. That's why I said I've watched a lot of documentaries on YT over the years pertaining to men in prison and men that are homosexual in prison or bisexual, and some came out teeter-tottering, messing with women and not being truthful. And that's the dangerous part about that life is when the men get out, do they go tell their mates, hey, by the way, I like men? I don't think most men will tell a woman that. I don't think they're going to tell them that they were sleeping with men in prison or jail, and I don't think they're going to tell them that they're also bisexual. I just still think there's some people who are going to keep that side of them in the closet.
Yeah.
And that's just not good.
Who gonna tell it?
Yeah, right. And that's right. And most men don't want to admit that they like men. Still, there's going to be men to this day, free as the world that we're living in, you're still going to have men who are going to hide their sexuality. And that's the dangerous part about being a woman, because still in this day and time, there are men who still do not want to use condoms. And a lot of people would be stunned, those that's in relationships, you'd be stunned to know that there's single men out here. I mean, older men. I ain't talking about just guys in their 20s and 30s. These men are in their 40s, 50s. They do not want to use contraceptives. And it's baffling. And we know the STD rate and HIV/AIDS rate with African Americans is high in this country, especially here in the South. We have a high rate of, HIV/AIDS cases here in the South amongst African American people, and it's sad. So it doesn't help. People are still in the closet. People don't want to use the contraceptives. Then you got people that's on the down low, the men on the down low still, and then they're not using condoms. It's messed up. Oh, wow. Oh, my God, Dee Dee, come on now. Jesus. Did you read her comment?
No.
Check it out. I'm about to get off here now. I'm definitely getting ready to get out of here. Did you read that comment?
No.
She says she visited her nephew in prison, and he pointed out several of them in the visiting room kissing females.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so Dee Dee, is your nephew gay or straight? Is he straight or gay or bisexual? Which is it? Well, I guess she ain't gonna answer.
Oh, she said straight.
Well, I don't see it. Didn't come up on mine. Where is it? Because I don't see it. Oh, he had to fight. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, I had a delay. Damn, that's deep. See, that's something I had asked somebody about that, and this person had said where they was locked up, that the men that he was around weren't doing that. But I don't know. I just said, well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe the pod you were in, you just didn't know about it or hear about it. But he was just saying it wasn't like what people thought, men just being attacked like that and getting raped. He was saying a lot of it's just willingness. He had told me that a few years back. So I don't know. But I think with the younger ones coming in, I think it would be harder for them. A younger guy coming in, like 18, 22. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think the chance of somebody wanting to take it would be easy. And even if he was built nice, I still would think if they thought he could fight, they would probably maybe gang him and take it. That would be a horrible thing to be gang raped as a man. Period.
Yeah.
Period. Just period. Yeah, my brother lost his teeth in a fight in prison. Oh my gosh, for what? What, a late teeth for what? Hey, what you mean he lost his teeth? Oh Lord. See, now we went to a whole nother level. Oh, Jesus. This is bad. Damn, R. Kelly. That's why I can't understand why people go back. It's no way of living. Well, I agree with that. He had to do 2 years and he was 18 years old and very handsome. Okay, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They feel like you right, you ready for the picking. You know what I'm saying? And I think that'd be a terrible way to live. Can you imagine going in there, a young person scared, you never been to prison?
Yeah.
And you worried that they're gonna try to assault you, especially going in the shower or in your dorm room or whatever, your cell room. That would be horrible. Because my thing is, they might gang you too. You got something to get down like that. Tag team. Oh man, I just that's why I said, yeah, I agree with you, Lady. It's not a place for anybody. So why would you want to keep going back? I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Well, I'm not gonna hold you guys because it's 1 o'clock here and I've been on an hour and 20 minutes, but I want to thank Mrs. Moore for her commentary and yeah, I'm good on going to jail and prison. Okay, not well, we hope you don't go, ma'am. She will find her way in a laundry basket out of there. I can tell you that. She be hopping in somebody's basket, getting on the damn truck. They've been found her free, so she be somewhere walking down the interstate because she sure make her way out of there. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for joining me. Thank you, Crystal. This is the said information pertaining to Robert Kelly. When I get more information, I will bring you information because August 9th is supposed to be the start of his trial or opening hearings the 18th of August. So I will bring you that said information pertaining to Robert Kelly. This is just, once again, another person coming forward information. They have a young lady who will be testifying as the person who was downloading the pornography of the men in videos. So they have an eyewitness. And then they also have Robert's phone with the downloaded conversation of the robbery of the court clerk in 2019. And I can't remember if they said they have the information of the pornography. But anyway, nonetheless, he's screwed. Either way, it doesn't even really matter. It's literally. Stop. Okay. You know what? Hold that thought, crazy. Thank you all for joining me. Thank my mods on deck. Thank you, Nancy Night Owl, Crystal Moore for moderating. I don't know where A5 was. He probably somewhere eating on a pudding pop. But anyway. Or hot cocoa. I ain't never known a man loves some damn Miss Swiss. Golly, help me, Jesus. Thank you all so much for joining me. Once again, I had a discrepancy in the past live pertaining to the Foundation House. The owner name is Mindy Lowe, not Cindy Lowe. It's on my community post. Please comment. Let's get justice for Chadwick Carr, 32, missing from that said house. Mindy Lowe, you're on radar pertaining to that halfway house. We now know who you are. You own it. We want answers pertaining to Chadwick Carr, and we're going to get justice for him. Tashina Kyle, 27, missing from Knoxville, Tennessee. Summer Wells, East Tennessee, Rogersville, Cal City Boys. Justice for these children. Amen. Thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Bye.